The first lesson at the sailing dock was how to capsize. The first day you show up and get fitted for a life jacket, they put you in a boat and they teach you how to capsize. Knowing that this was what I could expect on the first day out in a boat, I stayed away from the sailing dock as an option during summer camp for quite some time. The whole concept of facing the worst possible outcome right off the bat terrified me. I thought a skilled sailor was one who never capsized. Wouldn't you start with the building blocks to prevent that and stay in the boat, rather than what happens when you fail? But after a few summers of avoidance, the allure of being one of the cool sailors ran out. And I donned the life jacket and I was shuttled out to the center of the lake. And the counselor turned to us and said, "Okay, here's what we're going to do when we go over." A revelation. There's protocol here, rules of engagement for yourself and with the water when that worst thing happens. For some reason, my child logic was that you were just tossed over the boat and left to your own devices to figure it out. But in fact, there's a correct way to capsize. What was required of us wasn't an easy task, to right your vessel as the waves slapped your face, your life jacket making you an ungainly and ungraceful swimmer, but it could be done. First, you had to remain calm and get some space from the boat. You had to confer with your mates about who was going to do what, who was going to play what role, but it could be done. The worst thing could be overcome by following the plan. The most crucial role, the one I remember, involved standing on the keel. On the underside of most sailboats runs a keel, a long and narrow fin that provides stability and resistance to the push and pull of the boat's movements through water. You can't see it most of the time when boats pass you. It reaches down deep below the surface of the water, slicing through as you tack and jibe. The first lesson I received in sailing was how to capsize. The first lesson I received was what to do in the event of a total disaster, the water overtaking your boat, being flung into the waves, a tangle of rope and sailcloth trying to drown you, and it involved staying calm and finding the keel. When the boat is capsized, it's lying on its side in the water. One of the sailors needs to stand on the keel, and with your body weight, lean back, pulling the boat back into an upright position. It's not an easy task, and when you're a scrawny middle schooler, it might take a few of you to create enough counterweight. But I'll never forget that sensation, standing there on the keel, holding the jib sheet, a rope, and as I slowly leaned back, the body of the boat came towards me. And then you find the tipping point, a millisecond of free fall, and suddenly the boat is upright again. This month's theme is finding our center. And the image that returned to me again and again was the keel of a boat. The sure and true weight that runs along the center of a ship, that critical piece of boat building that we leaned on mightily, quite literally, when it had all gone wrong and we had been overrun by the elements. We so rarely seek our center. We so rarely need our centers when things are going well. It's more often when we're flailing, when there's so much swirl and churn that we can't feel there is a way out. So often we need our centers when we feel we have been flung from the boat and left to our own devices. The first day, the first lesson, a hard truth for each of us, even the most skilled sailors go over. Each of us, as we navigate our way through the oceans of our lives, we will each take a turn in the drink. There will be times when our vessel, which we felt so sure was seaworthy, when our vessel feels flimsy and no match for the onslaught of water that keeps coming from on all sides, the wind that just won't quit, when the swells and the stormy seas become too hard to navigate and you are tossed about. The water is wide, my friends, and the truth is even the most skilled sailors go over. The times when it feels like just as we get well, we get sick again. The times when just as we got the interview, they decided to go with someone else. Just when the bills get paid, it's the first of the month again. The water keeps coming. The waves are getting bigger. You can feel a collapse is imminent, and then the boat goes over. Howard Thurman wrote in our call to worship today, "It is good to center down a direction, a strong, sure purpose that will structure our confusion and bring meaning to our chaos." So when the boat goes over, when your boat goes over, center down. There is protocol to follow. There are rules of engagement when you capsize. You don't have to make it up all on your own. Others have been here before. You must breathe deep and find the keel. Find that ballast weight, that stabilizing force, that fin that runs beneath the surface, and you lean on that. Return to your breath. Through the adrenaline, look to your shipmates and assign the roles and lean on that keel. The water is wide, my friends, and we sail the seas at mercies beyond our control. We sail the seas at the mercy of forces beyond our control. We do not make the wind. We cannot conjure cloud cover or rise the tide. We cannot avoid capsizing. It is not a failure if it is inevitable. All we can do is keep the faith and center down. Keep the faith that the risk you took in finding more wind, a truer path, will bear good things. Keep the faith that you can organize yourself and your mates to right the ship, that you can bail yourself out with a yogurt container or your own 2 hands, that your own small weight is enough to heave the hull upright again. Take faith that those who sailed before you, the bravery of those who navigated in the dark, who charted the way and left maps for us to follow, center down, keep the faith, find the keel. The Pacific Islanders who traversed thousands of miles across open ocean, 2 things: exceptional skill and exceptional courage. That's what we work to cultivate here in this place, in our own boats, upon our own seas, the skill to center down and the courage to keep the faith. But the message today from this Unitarian Universalist pulpit would not be complete without love. That which holds us all, which is bigger and stronger than anything we can wrap our arms around or our minds around. It was Walt Whitman who wrote, "And a kelson of creation is love." Kelson being another word for keel. A keel of the creation is love. That deep and weighted stabilizing force is love. That fin that runs deep and true beneath the surface, which helps us stay afloat in the stormy seas, it's love. And isn't that what we lean on most when we feel ourselves capsizing? Isn't it love that bears the weight as we try to bring the boat back into the wind? Isn't it love that keeps our boat steady amidst the up and down of the peaks and troughs of our days. Isn't it love? The love that abounds in community, in this community, those who set the hymn books and brew the coffee, who tune the mics so we can worship, those who met in the choir and took their marriage vows in this sanctuary, those who forego worship to teach our children about justice and peace upstairs, those who held the baby so Mary and Joseph in the pageant could take their place, those who we call godmother, godfather, godfriend. The tender silence that our small group facilitators hold so folks can hear their souls, can bear their souls, this love, this communal love, the keel of this place. It rights us when we have hiked out too far and taken on too much water. And it is the love that abounds within us too, the love of self and the love of body and the love of mind and spirit, which compels us to sail on and keep the faith. Exceptional courage, exceptional skill, and soulful, exceptional love. You are seaworthy. We are seaworthy. Our boats were made for these times. No matter how wide the water, our boats stay afloat. And when they capsize, we'll know we aren't the first to flail. And we'll heave on that keel, remembering all the while that there are millions of boats of righteous souls on the waters with you. In your deepest bones, you have always known this to be true. Blessed be, and amen.
Hi, I'm Reverend Hannah Capaldi.
And I'm Reverend Abby Tennis. We are the ministers at the First Unitarian Church of Philadelphia, where our mission is to awaken love and justice in our lives and in the world.
We're so grateful that you watched, and we hope that the sermon connected with your soul.
We also want to invite you to join us for a live worship service every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. You can always find the link to that service on our website at www.philauu.org. In these services, you'll hear words like you've just heard, and you also get a chance to greet one another, pray together, sing together, and we even hold a virtual coffee hour after services to get a chance to greet some new and old friends.
If you want to support the mission of this community and you feel moved to give, you can do so by going to the website that Reverend Abby just mentioned. You can find that link below, or you can text 215-709-5095 and follow the prompts to give.
If someone in your life needs to hear these words today, we encourage you to share this video. And again, thank you so much for watching.
We hope to see you soon.